take a look at this as a location. We're going to do a couple of little setups here. I quite like this texture. I think this is like a really nice sort of background. And we're going to do a little picture. I think just using something very, very simple setup, just using colour gels, a little blue backlight here, maybe a blue backlight from that side. So we're going quite theatrical, and an orange light on a flash from the front on camera, just on camera flash as a key light, and we'll set the white balance to match the orange, and it'll all look fantastic. Okay, let's make it happen. Okay, we're going to put some gels on the backlights and then the key light. This one here, we'll use this on camera, and we'll set this up as a master. I'm putting a full orange gel on there. Okay, I'm going to park that on the camera. Okay, so this is going to be a master flash here, and it's going to control the other ones as well as fire itself. Okay, now we need to set some flash guns up on the stands. So let's use this stand here. We're going to put, again, I'm just using this convenient mount system to put a blue gel on. Okay. So we've got to make sure that that's going to point to our subject. Let's have this round this way, like this. Spin this round to the camera. That's going to look great. Just about there. Perfect. Tip it down a little bit. Just going to pop a blue gel on there, like this. So full blue. Let's get this in the right position. Over here, just. So that's going to be our little kicker here, about there. That'll look good. Just always set your lights up and get the feel and the balance right before you start working with your clients. Bring this other one in. Okay, so that's okay. That's a good to go. Set on remote as well. That'll look lovely, that. Something like that there. Pan it around a little bit. Get your mark, get an idea of where you need to stand. Probably here. This will look good. Background's looking good. Let's give it a go. Can you come in for me? Excellent. Okay, now your spot here is just here. Let's come forward a little bit to there. That's nice there. Okay. We're going to get these two backlights kicking in now. We might get a bit of flare off those, but they might look good. So we'll see how we get on. And we're going to go to side lighting. We'll take your hair out of your eyes on this side. Just get my camera. Okay, so what have I got? I've got the Speedlight here set up so that it's delivering flash through this gel, square onto camera here. Okay, and because the flash is above the camera, the shadows are going to go down behind Emily's head, so that's going to be fine. I'm going to zoom this flash up a little bit actually. Let's zoom this in so that it's just going to slightly vignette with the orange. A couple of things we need to consider here. One is the colour temperature, and the other is the exposure. So let's deal with exposure first, because that's most straightforward. I'm going to choose 250th of a second, because that's the good flash sync speed. We're going to sit at 200 ISO, because on the D700, that's your base ISO, which is going to give you the maximum quality. And we're going to choose an aperture. I've chosen f8. An f8 will cut the ambient fill down, and we're going to change the aperture. And what will happen is, when we're working with TTL, if we were to shoot this at f11, you'd get the same exposure. It's just that the area that's not lit by flash would seem darker. Okay, so you can practice with different apertures. Maybe shoot one at 5.6, one at f8, one at f11, and just get a feel for what you like the best. Now let's talk about the colour temperature. On the backlights, we've got two full blue gels, one on each flash. That's going to take it out to about 8,000, 9,000 Kelvin. Very, very blue. On the key light here, I've got a full orange. So that, in theory, should take it from about 5,600 Kelvin down to 3,200. Now, don't worry about the numbers. Over a period of time, you'll start to learn these things. But it's going to help us because on the white balance options here on the camera, I've gone on to K. And then you can steer it up using the front command dial, you can steer up and change the numbers. And I'm going to choose a setting of about 4,000 Kelvin. That will make this feel slightly warm, but the blues will be rich and deep, quite theatrical. Okay, let's take some shots. All right. Okay, so looking straight to camera, I want some intense look. That's it, gorgeous. I love that. Okay, oh, take a look at this. I think I've just got a bit of wind because doing a bad thing with the hair. Oh, I love that. That's even better. You know, sometimes you get lucky with the wind. Occasionally it blasts the hair just out of the eyes, but it looks really superb. There. One more. Yeah. Take a look at this. If I zoom in here, let's check it's sharp and let's discuss the lighting. Okay, oh, beautifully sharp. You can see here the backlight's coming in and the beautiful, lovely complexion. Notice the chin shadow under the chin there. That's because we've got an on-camera flash, but it's nice and hard. I don't mind that. I think that's fantastic. This is a good picture.
Working with symmetrical lighting has allowed me to place Emily right in the centre of the picture.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot of you, Ben. We're going to shoot you here. This is quite a nice panel to work with. We've got this, going to have this in the foreground. Let's shoot from low angle, and Ben, you're going to be about here. Okay. I'm going to put a key light up there, a speed light on a stand. I'm going to run a backlight over here. Okay, just out of shot because we're going to use this panel here in the back of the shot as well. So that'll be a nice background to work with. Bit of bird shit on there, but we'll sort that out in the post-production. Right, so I'm going to quickly rig this up. A couple of speed lights. I'm going to use the Pocket Wizard to trigger this. I'm going to probably work at f8, I think, something like that, because I want some from the floor to halfway up that building in focus, and I'm going to shoot it on a wide lens, 16 to 35 f2.8 lens on the Canon 5D Mark II. Get the lighting stand to about half height, easier to work at that level, that height. Pop a Pocket Wizard on here. Set up your flash. We don't need any remote. Pop that on there like that. Doesn't matter what way the sensor's pointing. We're going to have this going straight towards Ben. Fold out the aerial, park that down there like that. That'll be fine. Good. Zoom that in. And I'm just going to lock that on the top. Little latch there, that's it. Oh, that's good. Now, with the backlight, it's quite important. If I run this backlight a little bit too far out, then over here, if it was coming further out there, we'd get a shadow, a bit of light scooting down the wall and the shadow of Ben on the wall if I get him leaning here. So I need to make sure that light is just beyond the line here so it doesn't light this front surface. Okay, so just going to sort of tuck that to there. Sometimes the placement of a light is critical, and so that's why I'm just sort of discussing this element with you now. Okay, let's take this up a little bit higher. That'll be fine. Now, with the other side, the key light. We'll have a key light over here, somewhere about here. Pop this on. That'll do fine. Speed light. One of these. Right, switch that on. Fold that out. Slot that on. Take it off remote. The last time I used this was with an STE2, so I'll just switch that off. I'm also just going to dial up the zoom to 105, that'll do. Pop that in there, lock it off, get it in line. I think actually I need to come back a little bit further. I sort of know I want to get this area here in shot. I need this first line in the left-hand side of my composition, so that's going to be very important in the composition elements. So we can bring the flash in from about here. I try to get the flash as close as I can to my subject without it being in the shot. That's pretty much the way to work, especially with speedlights. You just don't have the power to be able to run it too far away. So I'll have that about there. Bring this up. Again, with this light, I want to keep it reasonably close to the wall here, because the further I bring the light out, if I brought the light out to here, let's say, to light Ben, then you'd get this very bright patch here at the edge of the light. Okay, because the more perpendicular it is to the surface it's lighting, the brighter it's going to be. So I'm going to let that scoot down the side of the wall there. I don't mind seeing a little bit of light landing on here. It's not going to be that intense, and that's going to be quite a nice sort of feel to it, like a ray of sunlight. And let's see what happens. Right, camera. Get the camera organised. Check everything's working. I need to put a transmitter on the top. So one of these little Pocket Wizard Mini. Switch that on. That's it. Lock it off. Zero any compensation before you start. Get some sort of idea. And I think I'm going to shoot this at f8. And I'm going to choose a shutter speed arbitrarily of 500th of a second. Take a look at the picture, see what it looks like. If I want the background to be darker, I can take it to 1,000th of a second, or even 2,000th of a second. And changing the shutter speed is going to change the brightness of the background. Flash will be controlled with a TTL, shouldn't make any difference. So let's have a quick look here. Got it set to f8. Have a quick look from here. Switch it through to manual focus. I'm not really looking through the camera at the moment. I just want to see what's going on. Okay, we've got a little bit of flash coming off there. That's quite nice. f8 is reasonably dark on the background. Let's at 500th of a second. Let's try 1,000th of a second and see if I can get it darker still. So I want plenty of shadow detail, but I want it moody and powerful. I think that's going to look great. 1,000th of a second is much darker. There's 500th of a second. There's 1,000th of a second. And you see this flare here on the left. This is the spill from the flash. I'll lose a lot of that. That won't be in my composition. I'll slice the composition slightly differently here. But that's going to work well. I think f8, 1,000th of a second at f8 is going to be the one I'm going for. Okay. Ben, come on in. Right, your space is here. Okay, just want you to nonchalantly just lean on the wall here. Get a little bit of a diagonal in your body. So bring your feet a bit further out. Maybe cross your legs, but I would have thought just to put the weight on the left leg, so you've got a strong sort of diagonal line into your body. Let's see how we get on. And you're looking straight over this way, okay? Okay. All right, ultra cool. See, he looks great already, doesn't he? So look at this. Right, I've got to get down here because this is where the shot's from. I'm just lining myself up very carefully. A few inches here or there make all the difference to the picture. Okay. That's nice, like that. Love that. That's good. Take a quick look at the angles. Excellent. The first thing I see is a little bit of flare coming from that back flash. Let me show you. There's a little bit of flare here. I'm going to eliminate that flare by putting a Honel Speed Gobo on here, a little gobo. It's not really a gobo, but that's what they call it. And it'll do the job. So let's take a look at that. Bear with me, Ben. Be with you in a sec, mate. Just put a strap on here. Put that round to here. And I'm going to just put this on there. So that'll still light Ben, but it'll just stop me getting flare. I hope if I angle that down slightly, that'll just help, because I'm shooting from quite low down. Is that pointing at you, Ben? Yeah. Yeah? Great. Should be good to go. Have a quick look from here. That's good. I can't see that. I just line that up slightly differently. There you go. So as long as I can't see that from the camera, which I can't, it'll sort our problems. Right, let's make the picture. Let's make it happen. So I'm going to dive down here. Shoot from there. Go perhaps a little wider. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Makes your legs look big. I like that. for a size. It's quite nice. Let's bring it down. I'm going to a 20mm lens, 20mm setting on there. Got nice shapes and angles in that. Coming to there. That's nice, Ben. Like that. Very simple picture. Very simple. Get the angles there. Check I haven't got any shot off. Shot off. One more. Cracking. That's good, like that. Excellent. I'll just come up. I want to just, thanks very much. Just want to zoom in and have a little look at this. You see, there's a very simple picture. Should do the job. I'll just go in, just check it sharp. Might not be, of course, it's on manual focus. Oh, that's nice. There you go, look at that. That's one. Lovely, great. Thanks very much. Okay, quick de-rig, and we'll be off.
The low-angle viewpoint has filled the frame with interesting diagonals, whilst the wide-angle perspective has meant that the foreground panels on the left are larger, or appear larger, than the panels on the right in the background.
Here I'm going to just get a big wide shot, low angle wide shot. We're going to have you, Ben. Ben, you're going to be over here. Let's stand you in now. Just come to here for me. Okay. I'm going to shoot from below here, just about there. Ben, you're going to be facing. Where are we going to do today? Let's have a little look. Put those two down. I'm going to put Ben in this gap here. There's a sort of a V slash there. Work against the sky. Shoot from below. And I'm going to bring the light in from this side here. So angle yourself this way, Ben, towards me. That's it. I'm going to shoot you from here. So we'll have a bit of this here, like that. Still rigged from the previous shot. Zoomed into 105mm. Just tip it down a little bit. Just pan me in. Is it? Just need to go left a bit. Come up a bit.
Yeah.
I want it sort of here, really, pointing here. Yeah, is that all right? Okay, thank you. I'll pull this one into here. You see I've got my little flare buster on there already because that was there from the last shot. I'm going to use this as a backlight as well, so I'll probably end up needing that. I'll just open that out a little bit actually. I'll turn it around because it's got a natural bend in it, and I'll tuck that way around. Now, is that on you there, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll just tip that round to there. Love it. Good. Let's make pictures. So, got to choose an aperture and a shutter speed and an ISO combination that works. Now, of course, here I can choose to work at f4, which is what sort of the aperture that I've always loved working at, but I'm going to take it up to 5.6 simply because I want to get these buildings, the outlines of these leaves sharp as well as Ben. I'm going to be working quite close. So I take a work at 5.6. Now I can take the shutter speed to wherever I want. Now the higher the shutter speed, the darker the background is going to be, and we'll probably get these buildings nearly to black, into very sort of dark greys, and the sky will become powerful and rich and exciting. That's what I'm aiming for. Let's see what happens. So I'll start with 0.002 of a second, and we'll see if necessary we'll take it up to 0.004 of a second. And take a little test frame here, bang it onto manual focus, just so I've got an idea of where to shoot from. Just take a little test shot. Okay, switch the Pocket Wizard on. But before I put the Pocket Wizard on, take a look at this test shot. You can learn something from every exposure, even if there's been a mistake or an accident. And I didn't have the Pocket Wizard on this frame, but you can see where the sky is and the buildings there look fantastic, and the way Ben is placed nicely in the gap between those buildings, silhouetted against the sky. Now with the Pocket Wizard on, take another frame, angled there slightly. Look at that. Okay, we've got a little bit of flare from this one here, but I think that's going to look fantastic. Can't see your trousers, your jeans too well. Let me zoom in and have a little look. Oh, that's going to be good. No, that's going to be fine. That's a nice exposure actually. So I'm going to get down slightly lower with the camera, and we'll direct it in and see what happens. Okay, Ben, I'm going to shoot from just down here. What you need you sort of looking up that way, okay? All right. Be careful of your boom shadow. Because I may flash. Thanks. Okay, love it. That's nice. Now just looking straight up that way. Got a sort of nice feel about this. Oh, I like that. Love that. I'm going to come slightly further to the right though. And just place Ben right in the middle of the intersection there. That's good. I'll just zoom in a little bit. It's just a bit too wide here. So going into a 20mm lens. That's nice. Love it. Print it. Make that happen. Yes. Okay, Ben, I need some... I'm going to change your posture slightly. Leaning back on there. So put your hands in your back pocket on this side. Not in your hips. Back pocket. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's it. Just lean back a little bit more on that way. And now looking out that way. That's it. Fine. Great. It might seem a bit odd. Actually, you should make tuck your shirt. Well, bring your shirt tidy. Tighten it up. Tuck it in around the back. That's it. Tighten it up like that. Yeah. Because the way it was hanging, it made you look nearly as big as me. That's it. Love it. Wonderful. That's good. Like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Bit of energy. Yeah, that's it. Love it. Wonderful.
The low-angle viewpoint has pulled plenty of sky and architecture into the frame. I chose my camera position carefully to place Ben between the trees and against the sky. Once you've got your lighting and exposure balance right, you've got plenty of options in post-production for different looks like this.
Okay, all right, Stina, if you just hang on there for a moment. Nice little picture for you here. This is going to be, I'm going to use a speedlight, single speedlight, and if you point a speedlight at a wall, like this, or a corner of a wall, corner of a building, what happens is this horizontal beam of light that comes out of the speedlight gets spread. Because it strikes at 45 degrees, it spreads horizontally. You end up with a horizontal letterbox of light. A little bit more accentuated, but we're not going to go with the horizontal letterbox. We're going to take it from here so that it actually ends up creating a nice chevron of light. Okay, now you don't have to have a blue wall. It can be brickwork, it can be concrete, it doesn't really matter. What matters is when you're working with a corner, you've got a chance to create some shape with a speedlight. So let's give it a go. I'm going to use the infrared transmitter, the STE2 for this shot. Okay, just so you've got an idea of what it can do. It's a good little transmitter, and because the flash gun is going to be pretty much in line of sight of the camera, there's no problem with the triggering. So let's see what happens. We're going to put the camera probably from sort of low angle, this sort of side, and we'll have that from about here. Okay, take that up a little bit more, tip that down a bit. Something like that there, that'll look good. And then go higher, zoomed in, 105. Straight down there. Okay, just quick test frame. 200 ISO, 200th of a second, 200, 200, dead easy to remember that. Dial that in. You can choose your aperture to taste as normal, so we could choose maybe f10 or f11, something like that. Let's try an f11 shot. Focus on something, get an idea. Okay, so here's a simple picture at f11. That's that lovely chevron effect, looking really nice. We'll probably lose that little bit of stainless steel bell pusher thing in a moment, and we'll pull Stina into here. Now Stina's got yellow on, and the yellow and blue, wow, fantastic, opposites, brilliant. So let's take the shot. Stina, come on in. Come into here. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come into this space, and it's quite cloudy today, and we've got a little bit of sun hitting the window across the street and coming through here. Now that's quite nice, it's giving us quite a nice natural look, but you can see the pattern as it comes through the trees and things here. I'd rather it be gone, but I don't feel I have to wait more than perhaps 5 minutes, or maybe even less than that, maybe even 30 seconds, and the sun will be gone and we'll be able to shoot. So I can, at the moment, I'm going to do a test shot, knowing that by the time I've sorted myself out with my aperture and finely tuned where I want it to look, the sun will be gone and I'll get my frame. So let's give it a go. All right, so Stina, you need to be looking, just bring your hair out of your eye on that side. You need to be looking up towards that way because we've got the flash quite high. Okay, all right, and I'm going to shoot from over here. Shoot from down, slightly below the eye line. That'll look nice. If you've got the camera in a vertical mode, you can't use it this way because that won't get through the lens hood, you know? So pop it this way up. That'll look fine. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Ooh, that's nice. Now, the light is looking fantastic, but it's not on you. So we're going to just tweak that a little bit. So, just going to pan this that way a little bit and then tip that down, and that's... There we go. That should be gorgeous. Take another little frame and just see where we go here. F8, let's try F8 shot. Okay, that's quite nice, but we're going to go F11. Take one of F11. Oh, funky. And then take one at F16. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Let me show you these 3 exposures now, and then as soon as that sun's gone, we'll actually take a picture for real. So if you just hang on a moment there, Stina. So this is our last exposure, which I took at F16. Oops, let's press play and then we can whiz back. And you can see it's much more powerful, very dramatic sort of shape. It looks really nice. With F11, we get a little bit more ambient. You see how Stina's dress is just a bit brighter in the unlit area. Do you see? So that was 16, 11, and 8 is even brighter still. So 8 is a calmer picture all around, but a lot of people would go straight for the impact of an F16 type shot. Choice is yours. Okay. Right, sun's gone, so let's take the shot. Okay, so I want loads of energy, and you're looking up to as if you've just seen someone you know. They're just up there. Yeah, love it. Gorgeous. Fantastic. I keep it all my uprights upright. I like that. That's an F16. I'll do one more of those. I'm going to keep that corner of the frame in there as well. That return. Beautiful. Okay, and I'll take that shot at F11 as well. Lovely. Thank you, Stina. Let's see what it looks like on a tight lens too. So I'll put on a 70 to 200 on. Sometimes these type of pictures work better when you're further away because the angles just seem to be nicer. When you're looking, it's less sort of up the nose, shall we say. And I'll park this on here. Apertures, everything's staying the same. All on autofocus, ready to go. Hold on there. We come right over here. Working at about, probably 20 meters. So look at the flash, and I'm using the STE2. Let's see how we get on with this. Okay, that's nice. I like that, Stina. Beautiful, beautiful. Coming from there. That's excellent. So can you clutch just the hem? The hem with both hands. I'm just looking straight up that way. That's nice, thank you. Love that. I'll hold the camera this way up. Fantastic. Ooh, one more. Yes, that's it. Can you cross your legs at your ankles? Bring your left leg over your right. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Didn't get the camera up right. That's just my fault. Okay, take a look at this. Slightly longer focal length at f11, and it's quite a nice feel to it. There's a couple of little frames here. This frame here, I felt that Stina's eyes were a little dark and she needed to lift her head a bit more, so I pulled her head up. It's not until you go in and look at it in a close-up will you see the difference. Do you see there's life in Stina's eyes on that frame? On the previous one, I just thought they were just a little bit heavy, just a little dark, especially this eye here is lost. And then this eye, it's got some light in it now. Okay, so it's always worth zooming in, checking your shot, making sure it's sharp before you move on. Thank you very much.
I used a low viewpoint for this shot of Stina and kept the vertical of the wall bang on upright.
If you let your grass grow a little long at home and you've forgotten to mow it, well, maybe it's a good idea to use it for a picture. Obviously this is posh grass, but still, let's see what we can do with this. Stina, your space is going to be in here. Let's find a nice spot for you. I think we'll come down this bit here. That'll be good. But don't go in there just yet, all right? What I'm going to do first of all is just rig some lights and let's see what happens. Actually, this bit here, this is better still. There's a nice little space for you there. Okay, so I'm going to put a key light up over here. You just check there's no snakes in there, all right? You'll be fine. Okay, the key, what I'm going to do, I'm rigging a key. The key light is going to just go straight down the nose, and the Stina. Now Stina's going to be on the ground, and so I don't need to go nearly as high with my lights. And I'm going to use, because I'm not quite sure what angle I'm going to shoot from, I'm going to put the lights in and I'm going to use the radio transmitter, the Pocket Wizards, so that I'm not having to worry about line of sight, because I may be in front of the light actually when I take the picture. I'm probably even going to shoot it from above, just sort of guesstimating where it's going to go, and because we're working with digital, we can suss it out. That's looking good. Have a bit of that. Slot that in there. Rig this up here. I'll get that in closer actually. Get that in closer. If you're going to be in there, this is going to be out of shot here. Just dig a leg in, you know, it's quite normal to do that sort of thing. That's it. Good, that'll do. Fine. About there. Tip that down. Yeah, look at that. That'll do, fine. That's that one. Let's have this one. Put another flash. One of these on. Switch that on. She's going to be in there. Key light. Now, because the sun's, well, we'll try and make this shot look like it's a sunny day. But the sun's not out at the moment, so it's great, because it means that Stina can have her eyes open. If the sun's out, we've got a few problems, you know. So let's see how we get on here. You're going to be in there, aren't you? I'm going to put this up into here. Okay. Dig it into the ground and it'll stay there. That's looking good. Just check it zoomed in. Switch it on, that'll help. That's good. Lovely. Lovely, perfect. Perfect even. Stina, can you just take up your spot? I'll grab the camera. Obviously, we've still got a little bit of work to do. And I've got the STE2 on top of the Pocket Wizard, so it gives me control. We've got opportunity to drive between A and B. This flash being A, that flash being B.
Sit down?
Yeah, go on. Get there. Again, there should be, I don't think, can you get your legs going this way for me? That's nice. See, the sun is up there. It's now come out, but it's perfect for us. A nice little kick light. What I'm going to do is just see whether these flashes are going to do their thing. I'm going to work with 200 ISO. I'm going to shoot on f4, my favourite aperture, and we'll try 1,000th of a second, sort of get that feeling it's the right sort of thing to do. You can just switch the flash off, take a shot without any flash first of all, just take a little look and see how much exposure there is on the grass. And we've got some detail here around the periphery, although Stina's really quite dark, but that detail in the shadows is really important. So I think 1,000th is going to be perfect for us. So pop that on there. Take a test frame, take a look at it. Okay, so there it is with the flash, and there it is without. Looking quite nice. I could probably do a little bit more punch from the flash, so I'm going to take the flash exposure up just that little bit, but I'm also going to go from 1,000th of a second, I'm going to go down to 2,000th of a second, just to make it a little bit more sort of spiky. There we go. 2,000th. Flash compensation, just up 2/3 of a stop. The sun is doing its thing. Love that. Straight to that lens. Beautiful. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Right, now. Okay, this arm, can you bring your left arm back behind you? Tuck it, that's it. Slink back into there. That's like you're looking, actually, bring your head that way a little bit. Take your hair out of your eyes on this side. I'm going to shoot him from here. Just bring your cross your legs at your ankles, yeah, and just look straight up to the camera here. Love that. Just relax your elbow, back the other way. That's it there. I know it might not seem comfortable. That looks fantastic. Absolutely gorgeous. Just going to change my position very slightly. So I'm looking. Just bring your eyes round this way a little bit more. Bring your head round. That's it. That's it there. Yeah. So straight to the camera there. Lovely. That's nice. Oh yes, that's looking fantastic. Now come forward, come that way actually. Lean over to that way there. That's it there. Thank you. I really like that. I've got this grass competing with your hair. That's looking nice. And can you just look up to there for me? Yeah. Beautiful. Just throw back your hair on that side and let's swap your legs over. Just find a little bit too much leg here, and the hair's closing in on the shoulder, on Stina's shoulder here. So we're swapping the legs the other way, we'll get the light looking nice. That's it. Go get your feet in. In fact, I think the wider I come, the more impact and interest you're going to get. So let's tidy this up. Just check the periphery of the picture, make sure there's no obvious leaves and things which I don't want. And come back to here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit more light in from the front. So on the ratio, I'm going to just slide this across here to 2 to 1. Yes. And there we go. That's the frame I'm going to go with. Just going to check it sharp. Yeah, beautiful. Actually, Stina, I'm going to get you looking up that way a bit more. Yeah. That's it there. And just bring your hair back on this side. Yeah, that's nice. Hold your hand up that. Yeah, beautiful. Yes, that's the one. Got a little slash of light though, just from that sun, just caught on the wrong in your face there. I'll just go that good. Yeah. Okay, it's a bit of a fun moment there. Just check I got it sharp. Check we haven't got any. That's nice, isn't it? A little bit of key light. The sun's doing its thing. There's a little odd shadow across Stina's chin there. But when we were looking at it on a wide frame, that's fine. I like that. It's got a nice sort of feel to it. I might darken the edges in post-production. I could try 1/4,000th of a second just to see how we get on. Because obviously now the sun's out, we've got a slight difference in the feel of the picture. Perhaps that's even better at 1/4,000th. We've got here a 2,000th. Okay, it looks a little bit flatter in contrast around the edges, and then a 4,000th, it's a bit more punchy. That's nice. Okay, just change it. I'm going to go for a few different, bring both hands back behind you. Yeah, and now looking out that way. Thank you. Let's try that. Just do a couple of close-up shots. Like that. Head up a little bit more. Bit more. Just look up there. That's it there. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. That does look nice, though, Stina. And again, one more. Yeah, just pull it to there. And then happiness again. Yeah, yeah, love it. Love it. There we go. A nice happy shot to finish with. Slightly tighter, and just cropped in a little bit. And there's a cooler picture. Happy, cool, wider shot. Got a bit of a choice there. And it's not until I get back to the computer, back to the Photoshop, that I'll actually work out which pictures I want to choose. Thank you very much. Come on out.
The strong diagonal composition, the high viewpoint, and the explosion of yellows and golds makes this one of my favourite pictures.
Just going to use this side of this building. This is a perfect spot here. Okay, what I'm going to do, if I rig my light here, we'll get a little slash of light down here. Okay, Emily, I want you to come into here. Bit of shape and elegance there. Okay, let's see what happens. Single slash of light, should be quite straightforward. Just rig that up there. Like that, look at that. Okay. All right, gorgeous. We're looking this way. That's going to look fantastic. All right. Okay, pop-up flash, going to trigger that. Oh, that's fantastic. Beautiful. Just relax you, that's it. Relax. Head up a little bit. That's it there, perfect, gorgeous. Excellent, thank you. When you're working in hazy sunlight, you soon get to know that a certain exposure will give you the look that you want. So for me, on this situation, I'm at 200 ISO, 200th of a second, f18. And f18 means that the area that's not lit by the flash is dark. There's still some detail there, there's some shadow detail that will make the print look fantastic, but it's certainly got something of the night about it.
The strong verticals, intersecting horizontals and circles are all important composition elements in this picture.
That telephone box, that's going to be our next location. Telephone boxes are quite unique in their own way because they've got a little light in the top. And what I want to do with this picture is to let the wall look like it's in sort of dusk time, so it's quite blue, and have a nice warm glow from inside the telephone box. Now, the light that's in there isn't strong enough to have any impact in our picture at all, not in this daylight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rig a flash, and I'm going to tuck it up into the roof of the telephone box, and I'm going to take the shot from the other side of the street. Let's go and have a look at the rig. Let's have a look. What I want to do here, I want Natasha, our model, to be on this side, and so I need some light to come this way, straight down her nose, really. This is the light that's in the box anyway, so if I put a light from over in this corner here, it's going to look believable. I think that's probably quite an important part of this picture. Having a flash bounced off this metallic surface here is going to make the light softer when it lands on Natasha. It's going to look much more, prettier light, shall we say. Okay, so I'm going to have to use a magic arm. I'm going to clamp it onto here, that's strong enough, and we'll put the flash pointing that direction. Okay, here I've got a magic arm and a super clamp, and also a Lovegrove flash bracket. So all I need to do is to get this up onto here so I can get my flash into there. So let's clamp this up. I'll pop it up this way. So all we're going to see in the picture for the support is perhaps this part of the clamp. That'll be fine. I'm quite happy to remove that in Photoshop, as long as it's high enough it doesn't interfere with Natasha's hair or something like that, which might give us a bit of a problem when it comes to the edit. But I think we'll be fine there. And if I put that into there and keep that up high, it'll look great. Excellent, that's good there. That's nice and secure. This is good at this end. Also, now, I'm going to use a Flex TT5 as our receiver, and I'm going to use the Mini TT1 as our transmitter, okay? So this is the system I'm going to use. So that now goes straight onto here. Okay, let's get our flash gun. This will do fine. A 580 EX2, just got to switch it on. No faffing around with holding and pressing buttons and going into menus and sub-menus to get it into remote. Just switch it on. Pop that straight on here. Lock it on. Look, instant flash, a little blip of flash just to tell us that it's ready and it's good to go. So keep that up there and clamp that off. That's pointed in the right place. So this is all out of the shot. All I need to do now is to warm up the flash. I'm going to put an orange gel on the flash so that I can get a nice warm glow from in here, but I also want the outside to be quite blue. I want the daylight that we've got to make go sort of a ultramarine blue. So give it looking like it's at dusk. What we'll do is we'll set the white balance halfway between the two, perhaps at about 4,000 Kelvin. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to use a speed strap onto the flash gun. There it is, it's all ready to go. Pop this on, the gel, that's it, it's done. Okay, now before I go across the street and plan the shot and take my light readings, I want to just check that the system is communicating. So I switch this on, press the little button. Okay, you can see a little flash here. That's just a very, very low power flash to tell me, yes, it's all communicating fine. This goes straight on the camera and away we go. So what I need now is a 70-200 lens on a 5D Mark II. I'm going to put my pocket wizard on the top, set the white balance, get the exposure where I want it to be, and then bring in my model. Okay, so this is the camera. I'll pop that straight on the top there. That's ready to go. That's all that needs to happen here. We need to set the white balance. So I'm going to go into here. At the moment it's on auto white. What I want to do is get it from auto white balance and move it into K. As you can see, this setting at the bottom here, that allows me to adjust the Kelvin value. I'm going to drive that down to 4,000 Kelvin. So I'm going to use the front wheel here, take it to 4,000, and we're good to go. The next thing I need to do is set up an exposure, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose ISO 200. Okay, it seems a sensible ISO to choose on a fairly bright day. A 200th of a second. Now we could use any shutter speed we want with the Pocket Wizard Minis, but 200th is fine because I'm going to be using probably the 100 or 135mm element of this lens, and it's an image stabilized lens, so that's good. Let's set it to f4 to start with and see what happens. I'm just going to adjust the aperture to taste. Now at f4 the picture's quite bright. It hasn't quite got that dusk feel about it. So what I'm going to do now is drop the background down by perhaps a stop and 2/3, maybe 2 stops, and we'll have a look at it then. So let's try 5.6 first of all. That's 1 stop. You'll get a sense of the feel of the picture. Starting to come good, you see. It's looking a little bit darker around the edges here. If I compare that picture with a previous one, it's a lot brighter in the previous picture. So 5.6 is getting there. I think we're still going to go a bit more. Let's try f8. Oh, now that's better. f8, we've got detail in the brickwork, but only just. That's going to look fantastic when it's processed. 5.6 is quite bright. f8, that's looking good. So I'm good to go. Let's get Natasha in. Okay, Natasha, right, you're going to be in the phone box. Give it some, we'll get some shape and angle into the picture because it's quite a dull picture, to be quite honest, until you come into it and bring it alive. So your space is just in here. Now this is your light's going to be up here, okay? So you need to be sort of angled more or less towards there. You could put a foot up on here maybe, or just give actually have the hand set out as well. Yeah? Okay, let's just see what sort of angles we can get onto here. Oh, I like that. That's good. And here we've got one little bit across here. Should we get rid of that? Just push it up into there. Or do we like it? I don't mind actually. It's quite spiky. That's good. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, that's going to look lovely. All right. So I'm just going to check, make sure everything's working. Should have a little blip of flash up here. Yep, that's good. That's ready to go. Okay, nice and energy, bubbly, bright. We'll do some cool pictures as well, just so that we've got something with a little bit more mood, okay? Because this is going to be sort of quite a night scene, all right? Okay, let's shoot it. Okay, I've set all the exposure and the colour before, so all I've got to do now is take the picture. All right, Natasha, lots of energy. That's it, bubbly. That's it, that's gorgeous. Bring the handset a bit higher, that's it there. And looking out towards that way now, that's it there. Head up a little bit. Beautiful, look at that, fantastic. Oh, I like that light. That's nice. Bring the handset a little closer, as if you're actually speaking to someone you really like, having fun. Yeah. Gorgeous. Oh, that's excellent. Recycles fast as well. Wonderful. There we go. I'm going to do some close-ups from about here. That's nice. Doesn't it? Yeah. Looking straight out that way. Can lean forward a bit more. That's nice there, perfect. Happy, happy? Take a look at that. Just have a quick look in, make sure it's sharp. Perfect.
The simple colour palette of red, yellow and blue works really well in this picture.
Take a look at this. Fantastic. Peeling paint, one of the classic subjects of all time. It's hard to walk past a door like this without taking a picture. Even just the door itself looks fantastic. But what we're going to do, we're going to put Natasha in front of it. And I've asked Natasha to wear something yellow so that we've got the red, the green, the blue and the yellow. You've got all the primaries of pigment and of light. So can't get much better than that. In order to make the picture a little bit more punchy, we're going to put a slash of light from that side and a slash of light from this side. Put Natasha in the middle. Okay, and it should work fine. Now, we'll rig the stands. I tend to work with stands a lot of the time. I tend to use lightweight stands out on the street. And the trick to working with stands is never having to sort of bend down or reach up too far. If you plan your system correctly, I'm going to put the stand in roughly the right place there. Come over and put the other one up. Like this. Fantastic. Be great to get into this building one day, just because I'm sure there's a lot of dereliction and fun to be had in there. Right, flash guns. Now there's a bit of mist in the air and I want to make sure I keep everything dry, so I will be putting some covers over the flash system. What I'm going to do here is put a, what's this one, a 430, this will do fine. Switch that on, just leave it in normal mode because it's going to go straight on top of a Flex TT5. So that goes on there, lock that on. I can flick the aerial up on there, switch that on. Look at that, little flash tells me it's all ready to go and it's communicating. How good is that? So pop that onto there. I'm going to zoom the flash in, so let me show you how I do that. Just press that button there, so that's flashing. Bang that in. I'm going to go into 105. This flash gun, the 430, is not quite as tight on its 105 as the 580, so it's worth bearing that in mind when you look. Just practice and take a look at the beam patterns in your studio and you'll get an idea of what your flash gun is capable of doing when it's zoomed in. Right, that's going to look nice. I'm going to pan that around that way. And let's get that up in the air. Let's sky this. So that's ready to go. That's good enough for what we want here. Let's set the second flash up. I'm going to use a 580 on this. Second flex. Pop that on over here. Lock it on. Switch it on. Zoom. 105, that'll do. It's going to be a bit tighter, this one, than the 430. That's fine. Pop that over to there, bring this up a little bit so I can get this into the right position. Switch that on. So it's on channel 1, little flash telling me it's ready to go. I'm going to leave this on B. So we've got A on that side, B on this side, and I can use ratios should I feel it necessary. Drive up to there, so it's tipped down a little bit. Right, now, that's going to look great. Going to give us just the look we want. Time to get Natasha in, start taking some pictures. Okay, Natasha, come on in. Right, a little nice spot for you, very smart, clean space. This is your space, okay, and we're going to get you to fill this space, get some nice drama and shape into the picture, I think, some angles. So you can put the hand up into there, we get some nice shape into here. It's always worth transferring upper body weight of the person you're photographing into a surface, either a horizontal surface or a vertical surface. It allows you to get some nice diagonals in the frame as well. Okay, I just need to check the lighting. This light here needs to pan slightly. Okay, to about there. That's okay, I might tip it down as well a little bit. It's a bit too much. That's about it there. Perfect. This one here, that's okay, just pan this way very slightly. Right, good. Okay, now the next thing, obviously we're going to get the camera out. Just relax a moment. Just thank you. But that's your position. That's going to be a good one, okay? The next thing is to put the transmitter on. Now we've got 2 transmitters here, and you might think, why I've got 2 transmitters? Well, this is the trigger that's going to set the flash off, okay? It's the Pocket Wizard Mini TT1. Set that to channel 1. And this trigger is just going to be used for setting the ratios. Lock that on and switch that on, and all we're going to do here is be able to switch between A and B with these 2 buttons here to drive the ratio either to the left flash or to the right flash. A is rigged on the left, B is rigged on the right. So I can control the balance of the 2 flash guns using just this top STE2. It's still spitting a little bit, even though the sun's trying to come out, so I'm going to put a few plastic bags over the flash so that it keeps them protected. Always got a couple of bags in the camera. Bag here, pull that down, straight back up. Shouldn't need to reset it or readjust it. And go straight on there like that. And up it goes. Do the same on the other side. Of course, when the sun comes out, it changes everything. But today it's going to be in and out all day, which is never the easiest to work in. But look at this texture now, with all that sun. That's the sort of look I want to have, but I'm going to use flash to do it. Okay. Okay, I need to select my settings. I'm going to go with ISO 200, and I'm going to shoot 200th of a second. I'm going to choose, let's start with F11 and see what happens. Nice. Just lean in a little bit more, and you can pull that hair back on this side for me. Excellent. That's it there. Gorgeous. Love that. Oh yes. That's looking really nice. Now I'm going to drive all the flash at F11. That's looking good. Let's try it at F16 and see if we get enough power out of the flash to cope. Oh yes. Very nice indeed. F16 is right on the limit of the flash's capability when you're working at that distance, at about 10 feet at 200 ISO. So perhaps F14 would be a better choice. Okay, let's take a look at these ratios. I put it right through to 8:1, so we're going to get 8 times the power from A than we are from B. Take a look at the shot. Okay, now I'm going to set it the other way. So now we're going to have B's got all the power and not A. A is still going to fire, but not very much. One more. Natasha's just looking at. Lovely. Come and have a look at this. Okay, so this is with all the power going from A and only a little bit from B. And this is with all the power going from B and only a little bit from A. Do you see? You've got the control from this unit on top of the camera. For this next shot, I'm just going to show you how to use infrared triggering in full-on sunlight and how we're working at the extremes of the camera system. So what I'm going to do here, Ben, can you just hop up here for me? Probably, I would say, maybe this level here, like this, so your head's sort of into there. And we're going to light you from there. You're going to need sunglasses because it's blinking bright here. Let's pan that round a little bit. when I was up there, I could see that the light was slightly to the left. It's quite nice to get into the position of the person that you're photographing, suss out where your lighting is going to be. I've zoomed this flash in, it's an SB900, I zoomed it right into 200mm, so it's just going to create a little pool of light here. Now you might be thinking, why are we doing this? Because we've got lovely sunlight anyway. But sometimes it's better to emphasise your subject with light than it is to rely on vignetting in Photoshop. Let me show you what I mean. Got a Nikon D700 here with a 14 to 24 lens, and I'm just going to work this at ISO 200. That's the lowest standard ISO on the camera. Don't really need to go below that because you start to lose dynamic range. I'm going to work at f22, that's the smallest aperture, and I'm going to work at a 250th of a second. That's the fastest flash sync time for normal flash. Now, you'd think that that wouldn't give me much exposure at all, but it gives you on a full-on sunny day with a blue sky, it gives you about a stop or 2 stops under for that sky. You get a lovely rich colour. Let's see what happens. Okay, Ben, just looking straight out that way. Actually bring your head back round this way a little bit more. That's nice. Hold it there. Yeah, look at that. That's good there, Ben. Spot on, mate. Angle there. Okay. I'm going to take one without the flash, just for comparison purposes. Take a look at this. Okay. There's the picture without flash, and that's the frame with flash. Do you see the emphasis it's placed on Ben? And so this natural vignetting happens with using controlled light rather than relying on any post-production effects.
Once you've taken your picture, have a look around, see what other compositions there are available. Here are some of mine.
Okay, this is going to be quite an interesting picture. Interesting because it's a sod to shoot, but it's so exciting, it's worth the effort. So Ben, you've got a space about here. Get yourself in the sun. We're using the, I know it's very noisy, I apologise for that, but we're going to use the sun as a key light on Ben. It's going to be very squinty, difficult for him to see, but I don't mind sort of narrow, slotty eyes. It's very masculine, it's fine. I'm going to use this flash here, set up as a zoomed into 105. I'm going to park it over here. This is going to be a kick light, straight down the side. Got quite a lot of range here, quite a lot of distance, but that's going to be fine. So let's set this one up very quickly. Bit of elevation. I always like to have the flash higher than the eye line, even in a backlight. I very rarely like to see backlights coming from below, nearly always from above. After all, as throughout life, most things come from above in terms of light sources. So, Ben, is that pointing at you? Yeah. Thank you very much. Excellent. So that's done. That's set on a pocket wizard on, that's switched on channel 1. Switch this on channel 1. Don't need any ratio on this, so I don't need that. I'll whip that off the top. Okay. I'm going to shoot at f4. I love f4. I love the way that the outer focus area is beautiful. The bokeh on this lens is fantastic at f4. So f4 it is, 200 ISO because I want nice quality, and then we'll choose a shutter speed to suit. Now in the sunlight, I know I'm going to be up at about a 2,000th or a 4,000th of a second, and the flash is just giving us a little bit of hint in the backlight. So sometimes, if you're going to work with flash, don't always assume it's going to come from the front. Use other key sources and just use it as a little bit of a backlight. Let's give it a go. Now here, this is our mirror, shall we say. It's like a piece of polished black granite. It's got a bit of gob and all sorts of rubbish on there, you know, but hey, it all adds to the flavour of the picture, because we're not looking for perfect reflections here, but I'm going to shoot a little shot down the surface of this, scoot down there, and it's going to look fantastic. A little bit hazy. In fact, depending on how we overlap it, you never quite get the same shot twice in a situation like this. Depending on how we overlap the foreground and background with this, the reflection will look quite abstract and you won't quite know where it's come from. That's the sort of shot I'm aiming for. No flash compensation, don't need any of that in. Let's take a picture. Right, Ben. Okay, let's just line you up a little bit. Whew. Actually, that's looking pretty good straight away. I'm going to stretch my legs out a little bit because I want to get the text out of the background. Oh, I love that. Okay, now, the aperture I've set at f4. The shutter speed is a variable here when I'm working with Pocket Wizard, and I've set the ISO at 200 because I want the best quality. Now, because we're using the sun as a key, we can't control the brightness of the sun. Sun's not TTL, so we've got to choose the shutter speed corresponding that gives us the right amount of exposure from the sunlight and let the flash do its thing. So here, I've had a little look here, and I think we need to be on a shutter speed of 0.002 of a second. The first frame I shot is 1600. It's a bit too bright, so 0.002. Let's give this a go. Oh, fantastic, Ben. Like that. Just swing out a little bit for me. Just a little bit. Just it there. Oh, split difference. Come back a bit. Perfect. Let's just look at the camera. Yeah. Let's come out a little bit. Swing. Put a weight on your right foot a bit. That's it there. That's it. Love it. Love that. And let's come back in a little bit. This is difficult, but this is worth doing. Oh, I've got some nice... Yeah, that's good. That's it. Now, can you just look across the street for me? Thank you. Okay, take a look at these. You can see on this frame the highlights in the background are just eking into the corner of the picture. I quite like those, but I want them a bit further in. And so I just changed my position very slightly and put them in there. And this ghosted reflection, I think, makes the picture. I'm going to swap my stills camera for a video camera and show you what I'm seeing when I'm looking down there. Thank you very much. So this is the 5D Mark II in video mode. Let's have a little look. As you can see, I've got Ben there against this sort of the street background. As I come around to here, do you see where that reflection comes in? Pretty funky, isn't it? That's this pillar here, just comes into there, and there's a little reflection in there. Throw into that, bit of backlight flash, wallop, gorgeous.
When you work with reflections like this, you rarely get the same picture twice. It's not easy, but it's fun when it all comes together.
Okay, I'm going to take a picture here of Stina. Stina, I'd like you to sit on the bar stool there. We're going to use a very similar shot, actually, to the one with Ben, where I used a long lens and a reflection off some black granite. But we've got a nice bar to get some reflection from. Now I'm going to shoot right down the length of the bar, but we're going to not accept the natural light that's here. We're going to put our own light in. And I'm going to do that with a couple of speed lights. So if that's your position there, Stina, I'll have this one here. It'll do fine. There's a nice little backlight. And this one is connected to a Pocket Wizard, channel 1. Okay, that's zoomed into 105. And we just want that to light here. Okay, just straight into there. That's suitably out of shot. Might tip it up a little bit. Okay, lock that off. And the other one I'm going to put round as a key light. So I'm going to work in with a key as well. I'll take my camera bag with me. In fact, I'll just set the camera. This is the one I need. I'm going to shoot from here, okay, down the length of the bar, and it looks quite nice with natural light anyway, but we're going to bring the whole thing alive. Pop this into here. This is our key light. Now, what can I get you? What would you like? Yeah, I think it's with that top on. I think I need to give you a Cosmo. I think little pink Cosmo, and I'll bring that in. So I'm going to bring the key just around here. So I'm sort of 180 degrees to the other light, straight down the line of Stina there. That'll look lovely. Absolutely fantastic. Good. Okay, I need to switch this on and check it's in the right mode. Zoom that in. That's okay. That's good. Nice, ready to go there. Now, okay. If I choose a shutter speed, aperture and ISO combination that cuts out all the ambient light, then we're just working with a flash. And we could shoot it so that we're in a black environment. But I quite like having the light beyond. A little bit of halation, all sorts of things coming from the windows over there. So I'm going to choose to shoot it at 200 ISO, because that gives us really good quality. 200th of a second. And I'll start at f4 and let's see what happens. So let's just take a shot. When I've got the Pocket Wizard set up in auto mode, so they auto sense the camera, the first frame I take after I switch the Pocket Wizard on is a test frame. You can go into the software and assign a specific model of camera to the Pocket Wizard. It then doesn't need to do a test frame every time. So let's give it a go. Oh, I like that. Let's see what happens here. Okay, there's first frame. Now, the first frame here, I'd say the flash could do with a bit more power. I quite like what's going on here, out of focus in this sort of area. But I've also got a little bit of a, I think it's possibly the mirror beyond. Let's have a little look. Let's zoom in and see. There's some interference here, just there by the, just off the side of Stina there. So I'm going to have a little look at that and see if I can just eliminate that by changing my position slightly. And see, just lean forward a little bit further. That's nice. There. Hold that there. Exposure looked quite good actually. Just take the flash compensation up a little bit. Give it a bit more beams on there. Love that. Oh yes. Now I've got a bit too much out of focus in the foreground. Coming a bit tighter. That's nice. Oh, now, that's it. Just okay. Just do that. Just hold that there, Stina. That's lovely. Hold that. Beautiful. I had the back of the chair in, Stina in there. And composing all the different elements. The back of the chair, I don't need that anymore. I also got where Stina's hand is blocking her eyes, her left eye there. So we'll lose that position there. And there's a lot more we can do to juggle that. So I'm going to just try a few more frames. That's it. Hold that there. Beautiful, Stina. Thank you for that. And I'll come into here. That's nice. Just drop your chin now. That's it. Lovely. Hold that. Focus and reframe. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to just take a few more frames like this, just juggle my position. Stina, you keep changing your position, and we'll see which ones we go with, because I think this is working really well. This is lovely. Bring your hand back in towards you. That's it. Thank you. Hold that. Just drop your chin a little bit. Lovely. Excellent. Let's just do one more here. The reflection's working really well. I'm just going to cut into there. And I'll come back onto there. If you get the lens right down on the granite, you get the strongest reflections. Ooh, that's fantastic. Just do one more. Lovely. Come and have a look at these. There we go. That was the last shot. That was quite nice, isn't it?
That one.
Yeah, I love the eye contact there. Superb. Just make sure it's sharp, actually. It's going into here. So I'm working at f4. Look at that. Gorgeous. Yeah, a little bit warmer in expression. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a few different frames. Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Speedlights are perfect for creating hard, punchy portraits like this.
going to take a picture here. I'll show you the angles I'm thinking of here. If you can come over to here, all right, and then I think I'll get you to just throw a bit of shape, okay? That'll look great, all right? But just relax for a moment. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to light Emily here with some tungsten light, okay? Now, it's not really tungsten light, it's flash, but we're going to use this flash here, and on the front of this flash gun, I've got the full orange gel, okay? It's full CTO, it's called, colour temperature orange, on the front of this flash gun to take it up to 3,200 Kelvin. Okay, we'll take it down to 3,200 Kelvin to be precise. And on the camera here, I've got a little white balance symbol. It looks like the sun, but with a little bit off it, and it means it's a light bulb. Okay, so we can take it over to that mode there. It really doesn't matter what white balance I set in camera if I'm shooting raw, but by choosing something that's approximate to the value we've got here, we'll get a really good guess and feel and look to the picture on the back of the screen and allow us to get the exposure right. We've got full control of white balance in the raw file in Lightroom at the end. Okay, right, let's set this up, and I'll just put the light over here, and I just need it to, I'm going to zoom it in just so that it only lights a small portion of our stage here. I don't want to light everything else, and let's do that now. I've just zoomed that in as far as it goes. Just take it into there. Do you see, to 105mm? All right, and we're going to now take this up in there. I want this sort of line of light. I think that's going to be about right. It just needs to go a lot higher. So let's try that. And I think if that's there, that should look really good. Now, Emily, your space, your head is about here. I think it needs to tip up a little bit. Let's do that, like that. Okay. Let's give this a go. Now, to trigger this, I'm going to use the SU800 Nikon Commander on the top. That gives me easy access to the power of each flash channel. I'm going to be on Group 1, Channel A, and I've got control of the power of that flash on this Commander here, just by pressing these arrow buttons here. Okay, now when you're working with the camera on manual on the Nikon and using one of these, your normal exposure compensation actually affects the flash output. So you don't have to, if you want to change all the values of the flash, you can just dive in and use your plus or minus compensation. It will drive everything, even though it won't change your aperture or your shutter speed. So anyway, we're going to leave everything just on straight TTL, and let's see what the camera does straight away. So we've got tungsten white balance. We've got ourselves set up with just TTL to there, and we've got an orange gel over the flash. Let's have a look at the picture. Okay, just take your pose. That's it. Tuck it back. Lovely, beautiful. So I like that. I really do. I love the way you got your leg curled there. That's fantastic. Just hold your position there. I'm going to come in from here just as well. That's a nice shot. Beautiful. I'll go into there. Lovely. Just try one from there. Just drop your feet off there. Yes. That's nice. I love that. Okay. All right, let's take a quick look at the shots. Because the foreground area is lit with warmed up Speedlight, it's giving us quite a nice skin tone, and the back area here, which is lit with daylight from the window, has gone cyan. We've got a lovely feel of colour and light in that picture. Let's check it sharp. We go in here. That's fine. Lovely. Brilliant. I'd like to show you another picture using that same technique. Paula, would you like to come in? Thank you. Okay, this is your space, and I want you to make it your own, okay? All right. Up here, same Speedlight with an orange gel, and I've got an SU800 transmitter. Let's give it a go. That's fantastic. Love that. Take a look at this. Let's just check it sharp. Yeah, that's good. Love that. If I switch the flash off and just take one more, you get to see the difference between unlit and lit. Take a look at this. That's without the flash, and that's with the flash. Without, with. When you've got your picture set up and all your colours and everything's looking great, and you've rigged your light, leave the settings as they are, pan your light around and see what other pictures there are to be had. Let's go this way. Do you want to pop through here for me? Just pull the light round here. Let's shoot down this corridor. Still got the same setup, the orange tungsten light there. That's fine. Let me give you something here, a little prop. There we go. So that's quite a nice position for you to be in. We come forward a little bit, actually. Come forward to there. I'm going to shoot this on a telephoto lens. And when you're working inside, this infrared stuff, it goes forever. So I can come right back here. Shoot that into here. OK, let's give it a go. Yeah, fun, fun, fun. That's nice. I love it. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, that's a bit... Now, just looking straight this way. That's it. Yeah. Ooh. I love that. Yeah, not quite so much angle on that. That's fine. Okay, that's it. Love it. Let's go into a wider shot. Perfect. Excellent. One of those would be fine. Come and have a look. See what you think. There we go. It's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice little range there. Well done. Thank you very much. Okay, so the point is you need to ensure that you get the maximum use of your flash and rigging capabilities. In Bristol, we're blessed with having some nice cranes. There's all sorts of textures and things we can use for photography. I'm going to have a picture here of Stina. I'm going to get her sat on here, get her feet up on here, and although we've got the sunlight, I'm going to try and angle her so that she's not actually in the sun by using the crane as a sort of flag. I'm expecting her head to be about here. So I'm going to light Stina with a softbox. A Lastolite Ezybox, and I'm going to light her very close proximity, so the Ezybox is really right in close to her, and we'll get this lovely soft but intimate light source. We'll put another light, I'm going to shoot from about here, so I'm going to put a light through the back, and I can hide the light behind this pillar here, but it can come through and light Stina from there. So that'll be like a sort of a rim light, really, on her profile of her face, and then we'll put a backlight in as well, on a stand over here, the other side of the crane, coming through this way. So we're going to have a key light from very steep from above, a backlight from there, and a kick light sort of thing from this side. And then I'm going to hand hold a reflector as well. I can put a little Lastolite reflector in from underneath and shoot like this, bang, bang, bang. Okay, let's see what happens. It's quite a rig, so bear with me. This is an Ezybox. So I'll just pop that onto there, open this up. Easy by name, easy by nature. Pop that into there. Okay. And this should go on here somehow. That way around. Every time I use it, I forget how I've rigged it from previous times, but this will be fine, I think. I'll put a Canon 580 on there. I also need to put a pocket wizard as well, so that goes on next. Little pocket wizard. Slide that into there, and I'll put a Canon 580 onto the pocket wizard, so you can see. We can work it around any way we want. I'll just tuck that into there actually, so that just goes into that hole there. Okay, switch that on. With the flash that's inside the Ezybox, I want to keep that fairly wide, so I'm going to put it on to take the zoom to 24. Hold that on 24, that'll fill up the Ezybox nicely. Put the aerial up on here, pocket wizard on. Okay, going to pop it on a little bracket so that allows me to tip it down on top of a hefty stand. When you're working with brollies or softboxes and you're out and about and there's a bit of a wind around, wind is the biggest problem because they become quite easy to blow over, and you don't want to lose 350 pounds worth of flash head in a gust of wind, so you want a nice, strong, secure stand. This bracket here is a Arri light tight, and it allows you to put a brolly in normally, but I use it as a means of allowing me to tip this down so I can take the light from above, because I'm going to want to light steam it from above, because I like the way that the light falls in that way. So I'm going to bring this over to here, rig that here, put that up here somewhere. So I think that's going to be about the right position. Now I need to put the cover on there. Just noticed, I haven't done that. So let's do that straight away. And that's just a little bit of Velcro. Everything's Velcro. We have a Velcro life as a photographer. Right, I'll pop that onto there, into the top corner. That top corner in. Bottom corner in there. That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? That does the job. Okay, lock that off. I'm going to tip it down fairly steeply, and I'm going to use a reflector to bounce it up underneath. That's the way that the lighting is going to work for this shot. I don't really want to be lighting this area too much, or that panel up there, so I'm going to angle it away from that to some extent, so it's lighting more into this area down here. So that'll probably be fine for me there. And I can shoot from here and not have that in the shot. That stand will be about right there. Something like that. I can get all that into frame. Right, so there's flash number one. Okay, we need to get two other flashes up. I'm going to come around the other side of the crane and rig those up. Okay, we'll have one straight through here. I'm thinking where's the camera going to be? Probably there. So this is a good place for this. It's quite a complicated rig, this, but I hope you think the picture's worth it when it's finished. You know, this whole business of working with Speedlights, it doesn't matter whether it's a big light you're rigging or a small light, you've still got to do it. You've still got to rig a stand and put the light on. And the great thing about Speedlights is it gives you the freedom to work in TTL and have control at the camera of all the different settings. That's what I like about them. They're really, really good tools. So let's pop this one on here. This will be fine here. That's okay. I shall park that up there. We're going to zoom that in. Again, because of the range involved here, I'm going to pop that on, zoom that into 105, that's good to go. And I'm going to run this one on channel 1, group B. So in case we need to set any ratios or change anything, this one's going to be on B, and we'll put the other backlight on B, and we'll put the softbox on channel A, channel 1, group A. Good, that's all right. Come up a little bit. That's probably going to be fine there. And I'll put the other flash on here. That'll do fine. Zoom this one up, 105. That's good. Channel 1, B. Okay, those are working. In fact, we've got a bracket on here already. I'll take that off. In my pocket. Just park that on there, that's fine. That'll do okay. Good. Right. That's all the lights rigged. Let's come and just check they're all working. Find ourselves a shutter speed that's going to work. So we're going to get this light coming down to here. We'll reflect up in underneath. And Stina will be on there, legs along there, rivets, loads of texture. And we'll just blast it with flash and see if it comes alive. So next thing to do is get the camera, get the reflector, and get Stina in. So Stina, would you like to come in? And what I need you to do is to sit up on here. Okay. Can you just take a look at the flash over there? Is that one pointing at you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, and behind you, that one there? Yeah. Brilliant, okay, and this one's in the right place. Good. All right. Okay, this foot needs to come up as well. I like that. And just lean back a little bit. That's it, a bit more. That's it there, love that. I'm gonna reflect this up into you. Not working with the sun, I'm just working with that there. Give it a nice look into there, into the camera. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Lovely. Okay, and just come further forward a little bit. That's it, and just drop your chin. And towards the camera. That's nice there. And just go back that way slightly. That's it there. Just pulling the sun off Stina's face there. That's nice. Hold it there. Gorgeous. Just checking the angle of the reflector. Pop that into there. Oh, look at that. Now, I need to see heels. So I can't see this heel here. Oops, you're right. So I'll hold that one in there. Let's just, how can we, yes, perfect. That's nice there. If you can get your toes towards the crane a little bit. Back, yeah, lift it back up towards you again. Tip your toes back towards you. Yeah, that's it, quite nice. Down a little bit actually. Just down to about there, okay. Just put your skirt up a bit. That's it, lovely. Whatever. It'll do whatever it does. Yes. Fine, okay. Yeah, love it, love that. Now just got a little bit of light, sunlight on your face. I want you to go back and that's it there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I'm just going to place you between those two backgrounds. That's nice. And gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, just look tensely to the camera. Just drop your, that's nice, beautiful. And look out towards, straight across the water there. And just drop your head down a little bit there. Perfect. I'm going to come back and use a slightly tighter lens and be at full stretch with the reflector. I want to just change the perspective very slightly. Focus, reframe. Just going to zoom with my little finger, do you see? Sometimes just to get the composition where I need it to be. Beautiful. Now, just got a chink of light on your head. I just want you to move back. That's it there. Fantastic. Bring your left arm up, down behind you. Bring your right arm up onto there. And yeah, that's nice. Yeah, lovely. That's better. Bring your hand slightly higher. There. Hold that there. That is gorgeous position. I like that. Take your head slightly further away from me. That's it there. Okay. Intensely to the camera now. Intensity. That's it. Beautiful. Okay, spot check on the light. The light's doing everything it needs to. It's absolutely looking superb. And now I want you to lean out this way a little bit there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'll bring the flash into there. That's not blinding you. That's looking nice there. And hold that to there. Lovely. Come on. Take a look at these.
I like that one.
Yeah? Yeah, that's nice there. Look at that. Fantastic. Well done, Stina. You're a star. See how when we change your hands around, I thought that worked quite. Makes your arms look quite big there, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think that looks much more elegant. I like the way the lights come across the back of your back of your shoulders as well. So
like
that one, you like that one.
favourite.
Now this is where your eyes are quite dark though, but he's very moody, very sultry. Look at that. 2 3/4 kick lights. Fantastic. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Excellent.
When you're working on location with 3 speedlights and light modifiers, the rig can take quite a bit of time, but you end up with studio-grade images.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to shoot up into the sky. We're going to pull the sky down on exposure, and I've got 2 flash SB900 and an SB800 pointing into this direction, and we're going to shoot up into this sort of nice texture up here, and just going to It's a very difficult environment with the sunlight and very high bright sky, but if we cut the exposure enough and get the flash in close enough, we should be able to get some really striking pictures. Let's give it a go. Stina, would you like to come in? Lovely, okay. All right, I'd like to get you close to this end if I can, up towards those flash guns there. I'm just looking out across that way there. Beautiful. Let's take a look at this. Fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to come down and just shoot from here. Love that. Whew, that's excellent. And there's one with the other building in there. Yeah. Okay, this is so good. And can you flick your hair back on the side, Stina? Lovely. That's nice. I want this shot there. Excellent. Let's do one more. Oh. It's worth just getting the angles right. That's nice. I'm going to come up a little closer. Just work into this top here. I'm just looking straight out above and beyond the camera. That's nice there. Can you just look that way? Because that's where the light's going to come from. Thank you, Stina. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And can you just bring your feet further back and leaning forward? Maybe if you, that's it, there. Yeah, looking straight out that way. That'll look nice. That'll give a nice feel to it, nice angle. Thank you. Okay, let's take a look at these shots that I've done. There's quite a few examples here, different shapes and styles. So there's the last frame, with Stina leaning forward. There's another frame there. We've got this sort of line running through Stina's neck, really. We might try in a moment to take a few more frames with her higher up. Very graphic, isn't it? Very, very simple pictures, though. Nice, simple bit of lighting. That worked really well against the graphic sky. There we go.
When you're looking for shooting locations, don't forget to look up. With control of the ambient exposure, sky can make an interesting background.
I've got an idea for a shot here that uses these arches and this area under here. Now, what I want to do is put some backlight in to light Laura here, but I want to bring the backlight from behind the wall. Now, there's only two ways of triggering that backlight behind the wall. One is to use a radio system, like this Pocket Wizard, and the other is to rig a sync lead that runs around, tucks out the way, it needs to be quite long, maybe sort of 20 meters, and plugs into the camera. I'm going to use the Pocket Wizard. This is the typical radio receiver here, and just plugged it into the flash socket on the top there. This will receive a command from the camera, and I'll show you that end in a moment, and it will then go into the flash unit here, and when I press the test button, you'll see light that comes out of there. So this will receive the radio signal, it'll go straight through that wall, and trigger the flash remotely. Now, the flash needs to be set on manual, and I'm going to set it 1:1, full power, because I know that I'm going to need quite a lot of belt just to be able to work at about 10 feet and to cope with this ambient light. We've got a lot of light there, so 1:1 will be good. If I need to reduce the power of the flash, if I want to go down, let's say, a stop on the backlight, I can just move it back a few feet. It'll be behind the wall, you won't know. And it'll just, the distance between the flash and Laura will determine how bright it is when the light lands on Laura. Let's take a look at the other side here. Okay, so here's the camera. Now, obviously, I need to control the flash, which is the backlight, with the Pocket Wizard, and here it is here. So I need to plug the Pocket Wizard into the camera. It's marked up a camera there, and I'll put that in straight into here. Now, also, I'm going to trigger a key light. Now, the key light is this one. Okay, it's just on a stand here, and I'm going to trigger this one so that it's in remote mode, you see? And I'll just zoom that in So it's remote, zoomed into 105mm, it's on group B. Now, with the Nikon D700 or the 300, you can't use the pop-up flash in conjunction with the Pocket Wizard. Because once you've put the pop-up flash up like this, it disables this PC sync lead. That's important to know that. So you can't use the two systems together unless you have an SU800. Now the SU800 will allow me to control this flash remotely on this commander here. I can take the power up or down just by pressing those arrow buttons. Okay, so this will be my key light and I can trim that in. And it'll allow me also to have the Pocket Wizard to trigger the backlight. Brilliant. Let's give it a go. Let's get this rigged. I'm just going to park this up here. Got to make sure that the receiver is pointing towards the camera. Angle the head down like that. That's going to look good. Get a bit of height. Now, one problem with using Speedlights is that occasionally you don't have enough throw to be able to get a nice big wide shot without the flash being in the shot. Because if I rig this flash right over there so it's out of my shot, then you just wouldn't have enough power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it into here, and I know that in post-production I'm going to clone it out. I'm going to make sure that this sits in the shot against this wall here. It's all pretty grey stuff and it's bricks, it's easy just to repeat across, and we'll just remove it in the edit. So that's quite nice working distance, about 10 feet. I know I can get quite a lot of power out of that if I need to, maybe even up to f16. I don't expect to use f16 here because we're a little bit dark area. Let's pop the backlight in. Okay, here it is. Just bring that up over to here. Let's see where we go from here. This is nice. Doesn't need to be particularly high, it's just going to be a nice rim light on there. Just drop that down to there, like that. Okay, good to go. All right, let's take the pictures. So I'm going to choose an aperture, starting aperture of about, well, let's have a look. Point the camera at the scene, have a little look on the dial at the top. I would suggest probably 125th of a second, because it's much darker today. Let's take the ISO up to 400 actually. So we've got a guide here. Now at the moment at f11 it's looking like it's about 2-3 stops down, so let's bring it back up to about f8. So at f8 I'm looking at this scale here and that's telling me that I'm about 2 stops down for the ambient. It's quite a dark wall anyway and I want it to be nearly black. So let's have a look, see what happens here. Okay. Wow. Okay, so at f8 we've got this little setup here which is looking quite nice. See the backlight's very dominant. I love these arches. The framing there's superb. It's a real figure in the landscape shot. And we'll need to obviously zoom in and check whether it's sharp. But I'll try one at f11 as well to make the whole thing a little bit moodier. So, of course, at f11, the key light is going to compensate automatically because it's on a TTL system, but the backlight, well, that won't. So we'll have to see whether we've got enough. Yeah, I think we have. That's looking really nice. So the only way to really tell is to just cover the screen and zoom in and just check it's okay on the detail. Devil is in the detail on a picture like this. Oh, that's looking nice. That's f11. Let's zoom in on that and just make sure that we can get rid of the lighting stand. Okay, so there's the light at the top there. That's all right, isn't it? We can clone that out easily enough. Scroll down to the bottom. What matters often is where the shadows intersect the lighting stand. Again, that's easy just to clone across. That won't take very long at all. Let's have a look at the lighting balance. Look at that. Spot on. Beautiful rim light, kick light there. Nice key, straight down the nose, and looking into the unlit side of the face. That's a cracking shot. Love that.
When you have engineering architecture this good, you can get away with what I call a figure in the landscape shot. Here, Emily takes up no more than 10% of the frame.
Okay, here's a nice idea for a picture. We've got some railway tracks down at the Industrial Museum area of Bristol, waterfront. We're not expecting any trains down here this afternoon, so what we'll do is I'll use this railway line as a background, because I love all the shapes and the lines that these tracks provide. So if I get Natasha sat here, maybe with her feet up on this rail here, okay, so her head will be about here. I can angle her sort of facing this way, but she can look to camera. And what we'll do is we'll use, instead of using 2-point lighting side to side at 90 degrees to the camera, what we'll do is we'll use 2-point lighting, but on a line this way, so it's diagonal. So we'll have a key light from there coming back to here, and we'll have a backlight probably from over here looking back in. We'll zoom both speedlights to the classic 105mm, and I'll shoot it at f4 so that the background stays nice and out of focus, and it just sort of disappears off in the focus. It's a very, very beautiful picture, and we can make it quite punchy by perhaps using a shutter speed of 1/1000th, something like that. Okay, so that's my starting point. What we'll need to do, set the lights up, set the camera up, get ourselves into position, take a few test frames, make sure everything's working, then we'll pull Natasha into the picture, set her in, and then make the picture. Okay. The flash doesn't need to be very high because Natasha's going to be sat. So I'm going to use the flexes on the stands at about this height here. Switch that on. Good. That's ready to go. Looks good. Pop that into there. Right. I reckon it's about right there. That looked lovely. Yep, that's good. Set the other one up. Probably from over here. Yeah, something around here will be fine. Into there like that. Now obviously when the sun goes in and out like it's been doing today, you'll get some variation, maybe up to 2 or 3 stops of variation in your exposures. So you have to sort of drive that. If you're working the camera in manual, then each time the lighting changes like it is now, you'll have to be driving that change by changing the shutter speed or the aperture. If you work in aperture priority or a program mode, then you won't have to do that. The camera will make those adjustments for you. So there are advantages in working in different ways, especially if the light's changing. Right, here we go. That's all ready to go. I'm going to take it a little bit higher. If I bring it in a little bit closer, actually, we can probably, let's tuck that into there, under there. No, I'll leave it here, because I've got to make it steady. That's the first thing. I've angled that into there, and I reckon we'll be good to go. Actually, I'm going to swing that round to there and swap that round that way. Just get it a little bit further to the left. Like that. Doesn't matter what way the receiver's pointing. Something like that will do fine. Right, set the camera up, get the exposures. Got a pop along lens on this. Okay, so whip that one off, put that one on, ready to go. Right, so we've got ourselves in our situation. Put the lens at f4, 1/1000th of a second, ISO 200, put a transmitter on the top. If it all works, we're good to go. If it doesn't work, it'll be finger trouble. I'll have missed a setting somewhere. Looking lovely. Right, okay. Natasha. It might be difficult to walk in heels across these tracks, but be careful of the gaps. Your space is, your place is here. So it's sat there, maybe with a feet up this way. Okay? Let's see how we go. You right? Now, is this what we need to do? Your bum's in the perfect spot. Okay.
Right.
You need to make sure that this is pointing at you. Is it about there or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's good. That's what I like to hear. Bit of this. And can you just look around? Can you see whether?
It's a bit far down.
Is it? There?
Yeah, like that.
Leave it there. Let's see what happens. Let's take the frame. Do you know what? I think it could rain in a minute. So we'll knock this shot off. Oh, I like that. Just be careful of getting, don't need to get dirty. Oh, look at that. That's it. Got it. Yeah. Take a look at that. Cracking. Cracking. Okay, so what's the tale of the story? I suppose if on the first button push you get the shot you want, go with it. This may be grey Manchester, but I want you to think of this wall as sunny Spain. Now, in order to make this sunny Spain, we need to create some dappled sunlight. So let's make our own here. Come and have a look at this. In the TV industry, we use what's called dingle, and dingle is a bit of weed or bush, okay? We're going to take this to a lighting stand, and we're going to put a speedlight through this to create a nice dappled shadow on that wall there. And then we'll create a portrait in the shadow, and it'll look like we're in Spain. Let's make it happen. So we need to start with a bit of gaffer tape. And we'll put this on about here. Take that onto there, straight onto the lighting stand. Right, so there's our dingle. Okay, we need to set that in position, somewhere about here, I would have thought. Hoik it up in the air. We want our sunlight to be coming relatively low angle, but that'll be fine there. We're going to put our sun, which is a 580 EX2, park it on here. Now, obviously we need this to point through there, but we also need to see the sensor from the camera position, which I think is going to be about here. So let's point the sensor there, rotate this round, and have that going straight through the dingle. That's looking good. Now, once I'm in this height, I want to just check the settings. It's zoomed right in, which is fine, okay? It's just going to create a pool of light on that wall there. It's on slave, group A, channel 4, which is perfect for us. Okay, let's make this happen here. So let's get that up there. Tuck that into there. Well, I've got the light, that flash looking quite low there, so I'm just going to drop this into shape here. Let's pull that back a little bit. The further you've got the flash from the subject, the harder the shadow is going to be. So let's just see where we go from there. I think that will look quite nice. Now, I'm just going to take a quick shot of the wall itself, so I've got an idea on the back of the camera what to expect. The camera's on f10. We're on ISO 200 at 200th of a second. f10, well, that's just where it happens to be. Let's give this a go. Focus, frame, shoot. Look at that. Okay, so what we've got here, okay, we've shot off there a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about that. We've got a pool of light with a few blotches. Now we need to probably juggle these blotches around until we get a nice area to put Laura's face, and I think we'll be ready to go. So I'm going to just tweak that a little bit here, maybe stand in and look back to the light. Oh, I can see it. I can open it up a little bit and it'll look good just about here. Just if I open that there, I think that's going to look good just there. Okay, now do you want to come in? Let's have you just here, just somewhere about here. That'll do fine. Just relax into that. Okay, gorgeous. Okay, imagine Spain, heat, hot, sunny, and just, that's lovely. Let's give this a go. Ooh, take a look at this. Right, the first frame, I'd say we've got the dingles all at the top of the frame, and we could have some more dingle here lower down, but I'm just going to work at the top half and maybe just make a tighter sort of beauty shot and see how we go. I think it all could do with being lifted up just that little bit more. So I'm going to put some plus compensation in here on the flash. So I'm going +1 stop on the flash. Just roll your shoulders back a bit. That's it. Lovely. It makes you look cold otherwise. Gorgeous. Now that is looking fantastic. I love that. Now you bring your hands up onto your collar, both sides. And just look in there. Beautiful. Get a little cheeky lip. Love that. Oh, that looks fantastic. Look at that. Come and have a look at this. Look at that. That's grey Dole Manchester at its best.
With good technique and a bit of imagination, you can make a single light portrait anywhere.
When you see a little space like this, these black chevrons here, don't walk past it, especially if you've got gloss paint. Gloss paint on a dark panelled surface like this is perfect for taking punchy, vibrant pictures with flash. Okay, Natasha, your space is right in the middle of this, looking straight to camera here, okay? All right, I'm going to put a flash on the camera, and I'm going to use a long lens for this. I'm going to stand back, and we're going to put the flash square on, like this, okay? I'm going to take the flash compensation up 2 stops, okay, +2, and just come into the centre. What I'm going to expect to see is the flash bouncing back off this surface here, kicking back and making the black paint almost white. In fact, let's get it to white, why not? Can you just split the difference so you come across a bit more, there, back a bit, bang in the middle there, perfect, symmetry. Right, let's take the shot. Okay, 200th of a second, 200 ISO. If I shoot this at f11, the flash should be able to reach from this distance at f11. It's going to automatically zoom into 105mm, and that's as far as it will go. Let's see what happens. Okay, f11, have a look at this. You can see the shadow of the sun there, and the flash has kicked back off this black to make it nearly white. That's what the +2 stops of flash compensation's for, to really arrest this textures and feeling, make sure the skin's not overexposed, and we'll be fine. Gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Okay, zoom out a bit, okay, and you can shoot wide. And of course the flash is going to be nice punchy right into the centre. And if you go to the left, then your flash hotspot will also be to the left. If you go to the right, your flash hotspot will be to the right. Take a look at this. See what I mean. Here you can see the flash hotspots to the left. Here you can see it's to the right. The picture I really want is here with a flash hotspot bang in the middle, right behind Natasha. There you go.
The long lens perspective has created a two-dimensional image, and the symmetry of design has allowed me to place Natasha bang in the middle of the picture.
here we are in the Bristol Harbour side, and this graffiti wall separates the sort of the waterfront and the area where we can all go with the building construction site behind. This picture here, beautiful picture, would make a fantastic background for a very simple portrait. So what I propose to do is have Natasha stood here so that her head is sort of placed where this eye would be, and that way we'll get a nice balance in the picture. You can see that this bit of graffiti is slightly encroaching on this area here, so I need to make sure I've got some black down the edge of frame all the way so Natasha's not blocking that, because I can extend that then in Photoshop if I need to. Okay, this I think is a really good right hand side of frame, and I think that'll work well. Now the sun is coming and going, but the sun is up there, so it's not really striking the surface here. But if I've got Natasha here, she'll be out of the sun and looking towards the camera, which will be there. Okay, so what I need to do is to rig two lights. I'm going to put a key light from here, just a speed light straight down the line of Natasha's nose. I might bring it out a little bit, and then I'm going to put a backlight skipping down the side of the graffiti from over here. Okay, so we've got 2-point lighting again, very, very simple setup. Let's make it happen. So, start with this. We've got ourselves our backlight. I'm going to tuck this in quite close when I rig it, quite close to the hoarding there. And I want to sort of try and get the light so it's not really hitting the graffiti too much. I want the graffiti to be a little darker than Natasha. I want her to leap off the page a little bit. So let's put a flash up here. It doesn't matter what one we're going to use for this. I'm going to put the 580 on here, open up the aerial there, switch that on, switch this on, lock that on. That's ready to go. So I'm going to park that onto the top of there. It's like one unit once the flex is on. It's very easy and very quick to rig, and I'm going to put this into a vertical orientation. I don't have to worry about what way the infrared receiver is pointing at, because we're going to use radio, and it just will work anywhere. And I don't have to worry if the sun comes and goes, so it'll be quite straightforward. Now, if I stand in this position, I can see that's about right. I might tip that down just that little bit, because I think I'm probably slightly taller than Natasha, and I think that'll be fine there. So there's our backlight. I tend to rig my lighting and stuff before I put anyone into the picture, just because it makes it easy once I'm there to concentrate, once our subject's in, to concentrate on the composition and the emotion that might need to be injected into the photograph. So here was the other light. Switch it on, switch this bit on. It's good to go. Pop this. I'm using the 430 as the key light. There's plenty of power out of a 430. It's a good little unit actually. It's certainly a lot cheaper than a 580, and it gives you pretty much what you need in a Speedlight. So it's very good as a second unit. So I'll put that into there. That's zoomed in. That's switched on. Yep, that's all. That should be working fine. So let's hike this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, now my normal exposure setup would be, if I was using infrared, like an STE2 transmitter or an SU800 or a pop-up flash on a Nikon, would be 200 ISO, 200th of a second, and adjust the aperture to taste. Now, on a day like this, and the sort of mood I want to put into this picture, that aperture might be up at f16. But there's no reason to have a lens that's a 2.8 lens sat at f16 if the picture will look better if it's at f8. There's less iris flare and you get a sharper, crisper image at about f8. So what we're going to do, that's 2 stops of change between 8 and 16. We're going to take the shutter speed from 200th up to 800th, and then we'll adjust the aperture to taste. Okay. We'll choose 800th of a second, f8 and 200 ISO. We can always make it more punchy or more calmer by taking the aperture up or down. Okay, because adjusting the aperture is not going to affect the power of the flash, because the TTL will compensate for that. The aperture is only going to affect the ambient light that around the perimeter of the unlit area of the graphic. Natasha, come on in. You all right? I want you to come over here. This is your position here, just in front of this eye there. Just come back a little bit to there. Okay. I've just got Natasha to go back, as you can see. If you just roll forward on your, you see how the sun is just glancing the side of Natasha's face. So if you just go back a little bit now into there, perfect. Okay, little things like that are really important. Now, if I bring this key light, I need to bring this out a bit and bring this around to here. Okay, I need to just check that that's pointing in the right direction. Might be slightly here needed. Something like that, okay. Now your eye line is that building over there, okay? And we'll get a nice shape to the picture. Let's give this a go. I'm going to put a transmitter on. Pocket was a transmitter, press the button. Yeah, that's going. All right, so we know that's happening. If I need to use any ratios in this shot, I've got the STE2 in pocket, which I can just drop straight on the top. And I've got instant access to driving left and right flashes. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, here we go, Natasha. All right, lovely. I love that pose. That's perfect. Okay, warmth, happiness, energy. The lighting's looking good. Bit further over this way with your look, but maybe down the water there. That's it. Beautiful. Hold that. Happiness, light, yeah. You can set the mood of your picture by adjusting the aperture to taste. So I can choose whether I want to have f5.6 or f11. So f8 for me gave me the right balance of the flash and the ambient. So that's what I'm going with. Okay. Lovely. And just change the pose slightly. I sit there, looking up that way. I like that. That's nice. That is nice. Just waiting for the flash to recycle between frames. Because when we're out in the sunlight like this, it's full power. Okay, thanks Natasha, that's brilliant. Take a look at this. Okay, quite a nice little picture, don't it?
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Once you've got a lighting setup like this rigged, if there's a wall of graffiti and things, you can use other elements as well. Just pick it up, move it along, take another frame. Settings are in place already in the camera. It's such a fast way of working, just to be able to do 2 or 3 shots instead of just the one at each setup. Here we go. So keep this one on the left, this one on the right. There's a bit here, look, we'll use this bit of graffiti here. Very straightforward. Lovely, that's nice, isn't it? Bit of that there. Just pop in here for me, just somewhere around here, and we'll just angle these bits to suit. That's quite nice there. Is that going to be on you? Do I need to pan it a little bit? Yeah? Love it? Okay, thank you. Bring this one in a little bit closer here. Let's have a little look there. That looks fine. Same settings, it should just work. Okay, looking that way again for me. Now, because we've got virtually symmetrical lighting, oh, I love that. I like what we see here, Children of the Can. I might put a bit of that into the shot. So by pulling this back, it'll mean that this flash has to work harder, but I quite like that. I think that will work well. In fact, why don't we spin this around? So why don't we have you looking out this way this time? Okay, and this will be your key light here. Okay, that'll be fine. We could even use the sun. Come forward a bit. Okay, and because you're looking this way, away from the sun, you can use the sun as a backlight, a rim light. Might not even need that flash at all. But we'll just pop it round just to add a little bit of punch. That should look great. Beautiful. There. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to come back a little bit, use a slightly tighter lens. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Here we are in August, afternoon, sunshine, absolutely crisp light. The sun is just beating down here, and we've got that hard contrast, the sort that you just get on a summer's day. By the evening, the contrast has calmed down a little bit, but at the moment, it's really, really bold. It's exciting. Now, looking into the light here down the tracks, the light that's coming off the sort of silvery tracks is making me think this is a picture to be had. Now, I just can't avoid this. I know we've done there's a railway track item on this DVD already, but I'm going to put another one on it now. I'm just going to shoot that here. But what I've got here are two Speedlights. Okay, I'm going to double up the power that I've got. I've got two Speedlights in the camera bag, so let's put them both on one stand, two flexes, and give ourselves an extra stop of power. Because what I'm going to do here, I'm going to shoot this at 4,000th of a second. Okay, the reason I'm going to do that is so that I can use this lens at f4. Something like that. Now, earlier we were shooting at 1,000th of a second at f4. I think we've got at least 2 more stops of light kicking around now. So I'm going to try at 4,000th at f4. It should make the background not pitch black. It should be dark, but we should get the shapes and the lines. It should be quite dramatic, and it'll just be a bit of a mystery. Now, even though we've got the flash here working hard for us, we might have a bit of work to do post-production to pick up those dark jeans. So we've got some texture there, otherwise Natasha's legs might disappear in the shot. So you've got to think about these things, think about the tones and how they're going to appear in the final shot. I'm actually going to shoot this in black and white as well. Now, what I mean by that is that when I'm working, I'm going to switch the background here to black and white on the picture style. Okay, so monochrome, I think they call it, which is a very posh way of saying no colour, which is good. Because obviously it's shades of grey really rather than black and white. Now, I'm shooting raw, but the picture on the back of the camera is going to appear in monochrome. Okay, but when I put the card into the computer and I import the pictures into Lightroom, that's going to pop up into colour again. All my colour information is there. It's just going to give me a preview on the back of what it's going to look like in monochrome. Let's give it a go. Right, you ready? Okay. All right, switch my transmitter on. Now, it doesn't matter how far I go because we're working with radio. I can be right over there on a 600mm lens, it doesn't matter, this is going to work. So let's think about this. If on infrared you might struggle directly into the sun because you're going to blind the transmitters and stuff. So, but here we're going to be fine. All right, a bit of energy, let's just work out, get my lines right. I'm composing with my eyes now, I'm composing with those rails, just trying to make sure, decide where I want them to slice through the picture. Lovely. And slice through Natasha. My word, that is fantastic. Now, I've got one highlight, a little flare. I think it's from a bit of dirt on the lens. There we go. In the manual it says use a soft cotton cloth. That's what a shirt is, isn't it? So, right, that'll be fine. Okay, so some energy and some vibrancy. Lovely, beautiful. Hold that there. Oh, I love those rails there. That's good. Can you get that arm over the other side of that rail and lean back into there? Bring your shoulder, no, bring your left arm in front of you. Yeah, that's it. And close. And just, you might want to undo the jacket. See how it works. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I love that. Battling with the wind a bit, aren't we today? There's talk of a hurricane on its way. Oh, I like that. Now look, if you look over that way for me, straight up there, perfect. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Do you know, a 4,000th is quite dramatic. It might look nicer at a 2,000th. So what I'm going to do is shoot both and then see how we get on once I bring the picture into Lightroom. At the moment, I need to make sure I haven't got too many lines running through Natasha's neck or through her head, and I've got to choose my points carefully. And so by moving just a few inches here or there now make a big difference when it comes to post-producing this picture. This looks good. That does look good. Okay, I'm going to go with that as an F4 4,000th. Now let's just choose a frame at 2,000th and have a look at that. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, do you know, in this light, the 2,000th of a second looks better, but it may be that I end up choosing the 4,000th. Okay, just got an unfortunate bit of hair movement there. If you just bring over your left eye, and can you just look out that way for me? No, don't look to camera, that's fine. Just drop your chin a little bit. Beautiful, thank you. You don't need a look of worry here, we need a contemplative look. That's it. I'll take that now. I'm just a bit concerned. Now your right arm, it looks like it's chopped off because it's not getting any light. So can you bring your hand up onto the rail? But a bit further, a bit down the rail a bit. That's a little. Just relax it a little bit. So let's put a bit of bend into that. Now looking out that way, there. That might just save the day. There we go. Okay. All right. Come and have a look. We have to go into the shade here. Come and have a look at these pictures, and I'll talk you through them. Okay. This is the 4,000th of a second at f4, and you can see there's a rail running through here, but also notice I didn't pick out the fact that Natasha's right arm is missing here. I did later on, and I adjusted that. So we went from 4,000th to 2,000th. Now 2,000, you can see the difference between the two, and at 2,000th we've got much more detail in the shadows here, looking really nice. And I've got Natasha to look towards the light, there. And I was just aware of this shadow and this arm just sort of disappearing really, and so I pulled it forward to here. And that's how sort of the journey on the photograph has gone, and I think I'm happy with that frame. Stina, come on down. Okay, what I'm going to do now is do a little shot against this swirly stainless steel. We're going to bounce some flash straight into it, flash on camera, and it'll kick back and give us some fantastic pattern. So just pop the flash on the camera, mark that in there like that, ready to go. We're going to be quite intimate, we're going to be very close in here. I've still got the wide lens, but I'm on the 24 end of it. Okay. Hold your position there for me, Stina. I'm going to show you where to be in a second. What we're going to do, we're going to take some pictures just here. So I want you just into here, okay? I'm just looking straight into the lens. It's all about rapport. It's all about, I want to be able to see into your soul, and I want you just to sort of seduce the lens, and I think that will work well. Okay, so just take some hair out of your face on the, there. That's nice, lovely. Okay. And I'm using the same settings as I was using before up the top. F20, 200th of a second, ISO 200. Okay, let's give this a go. Straight into there, lovely. That's nice there. Just drop your chin a little bit. That's it, thank you. Just grab your collar for me. That's it there, look fantastic. Okay. Straight into the lens. That's it, just come this way a little bit, just so you centre up. That's it there, that's fine. Just want to centre you in there, that's it. That's it there. Okay. Just drop your chin a little bit. I'm going to just cut the flash back a small amount. That'll be fine. Yeah, just run your hands through your hair like that. Lovely. Looks the camera. Okay. Let's take a look at what I've shot. Come on, you can have a look too. This is the last frame we took. That's the previous one here. A couple of others. Bit of shine on your makeup there. And that's just part of the look, I think. The flash coming back straight from the camera really adds to that, and the sheen on the jacket's quite striking too. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
To get a background like this, all you need to do is attack a sheet of stainless steel with a sanding disc in an angle grinder.
For this next shot, this is the kit I'm going to use. I've got 3 Speedlights here. Okay, 580 EX2s, a couple of those, and a 430 EX2. I've got the 70 to 200 lens. I'm going to use that on the 200 end. I'm going to use it at f4. Trigger the 3 lights with the Pocket Wizard here, and Stina there is going to be our model. Okay, and so I've got to think about this. I'm going to shoot towards that building over there, and that will be just out of focus in the background. And I'm going to use 2 3/4 kick lights from behind, and then a key light. Haven't quite decided whether I'm going to key from this side yet or from the other side. So I might go for an over-the-shoulder look, okay, and then decide to key from over there. We'll give that a go first and see how it looks. Right, so just going to put a light over here. So Stina, well, can you just sort of take a pose? You're pulling that lever there. Yeah. See what? Or pushing one of these back. Because if you can get your leg through. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, give it. Okay, if you're looking back this way, okay, so the camera's going to be down there. Okay, I'm going to key you from here. Right, that's where it's going to be. So work out the position of Stina's face and head to work out where the light's going to go, straight down the nose there. Now, Stina's quite high up there, so I know I'm going to have to get this stand as high as it goes, because the extra foot or so on that stand where she stood makes a difference. So this spigot comes slightly above horizontal here, gives us a bit more height, and I'll just pick this up, switch this on. When you using Pocket Wizard, switch the flash on first, okay, then switch the Pocket Wizard on, and you'll find it flashes, lets you know. That's a good sequence to work in, and got it on A, channel 1. Okay, just is that in the right position? Thank you very much. Okay, lamp 2, we'll use the 430. We'll just park that in behind. The 430 is a smaller flash, but it does work just as well. It's a good little light, actually. I do like the 430. It's a good value for money unit. I'm going to park this just out the way here. Actually, I want to be kicking to here. Stina, can you just look straight down that way again as you were? And take your eyes at there. I just want to come into here then with this flash. So I'm just tuck it into here. Bring this up. Just want to make sure that it's not glancing too much down the side of Stina's face. And I'll just bring that into there. I don't want any flare from it either. Okay. Now, it's leaning forward a bit. I could use a speed strap to tie it back to here. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to dig in the legs here. That'll be fine. Excellent. Let's switch that on actually. That'll be the right thing to do. On and that on. Little test flash. Good. We know what we're doing. Okay, Stina, just pan me in.
Yeah.
Is that it? Good. Thank you. So we've got those 2 rigged, and you notice it's the classic sort of Lovegrove key and kick 180 degree opposite each other. That'll look good there. And I'm going to bring this light in to be our proper key, our kick light in from here. So can you just go and look that way for me as you were? There, I just need this to come in probably from here. Yeah, that'll look nice. So we've got true 3-point lighting here, 3 light sources, okay, and they're just opposite each other effectively in a nice little triangle here. I suppose they're 120 degrees apart, but they're not quite actually, because those 2 are pretty much facing each other. And we'll bring this one a little higher. Let's just make sure I've switched it on in the right order. Looks good. Is that okay on you? Yeah?
Let's get blinded, that's one light.
Is that all right? Great, lovely, thank you. Okay, let's take the picture. Why, before I disappear off down there, let's have a little look, get the exposure, get the feel right. Yes. Okay. Right, take a look at this. So there's the first frame. I just did a very quick frame without any flash, and then there's the frame with flash. It's looking very subtle but beautiful. Okay, no flash with flash. I've got the sky in the picture. I want to lose the sky there, and the way I'm going to do that is by going back and using a really long lens, and I can just shoot then against that building out of focus. I won't need to see the sky. The wider you are and the closer you are, the more background you see. Okay, so I'm going to scoot on back. It's looking good. Okay. Park the lens on 200, have a little look every now and then, get a sense of how far back I want to go. Still want to go back further. It's great, this radio stuff, because you're not really limited. It's fantastic. I'm working at f4, 200 ISO, and at the moment the camera's on a 500th. We'll see whether that's the way I want to work in a moment. Ooh, that's looking nice. Going to make a decision whether to stick with that. No, I'm going to go to 1,000th of a second. Love that. That'll make the background even darker. Lovely. And might split the difference actually. I'm going to take that down to 800th of a second and we're going to shoot. So I want some energy into this. Love that. Fantastic. Oh, I like that. Now, can you put one leg through? Yeah. That's it. Great. Fantastic. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Just going to just change that look a little bit more. Can you go as if to reach the lever through there, as if to pull it there? That's fine. And looking out straight ahead of you, that's it there. Perfect. That's a nice shape. I do like that shape. That's good. I'm going to just try a couple of different exposures, bring the shutter speed down and get a sense back down to 500th again. I think this might be a nice black and white. I think the blue's distracting beyond. Okay. And Stina looking straight to camera now. That's it there. Lovely. That's a nice picture. Stick with the upright composition. Go with that rail there. Building there. That's nice. Okay. I like this. I like it a lot. I'm going to make one subtle change, and I'm going to just zoom the flash out in the foreground here. So one very quick move adjustment, because this flash isn't hitting this area here. Okay, so we're going to just bring this down a little bit, zoom that out. It's looking good though. Yeah. So just zoomed it out to 70mm. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Is that still pointing at you? Yeah. Okay, and then hopefully I'll just get a little bit more down onto here. Just need that extra bit of texture. When you're back in the studio and you've got the files in the computer, all the shadow detail, which I'm sort of concerned about here, you'll probably find there's enough information there anyway, but it's always better to make sure that the picture you see on the back of the camera looks good, and then you'll be safe. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just come this way slightly, lining up my background, shooting off, and if I come down a little bit to there, that'll be good. That's nice. Excellent. Yes. Now that's lovely. That's made all the difference actually. It's just changing one light position has made a big difference to the balance and the composition. I'm going to try various exposures. Hold that there, Stina. That's a nice look. Well done. Thank you. Excellent. That's a wrap.